Constantly saying yes when you want to say no isn't kindness. It's a prison you've built around yourself. That feeling of resentment growing inside you after agreeing to help someone, even when you're already overwhelmed, is your inner self screaming for attention. People-pleasing might seem like a positive trait, but it slowly drains your energy, happiness, and authentic identity. In this video, I'll reveal the 5 clearest signs you're sacrificing too much of yourself for others, and, more importantly, how to break this exhausting cycle without feeling guilty. These aren't just temporary fixes, but transformative strategies that will help you reclaim your time, energy, and self-respect. Don't worry if you recognize yourself in these signs. Awareness is the first step to change, and I'll guide you through exactly what to do next. Make sure to watch this entire video. Each point builds on the previous one, creating a complete roadmap to freedom from people-pleasing. If you're short on time, watching at 1.5 or 2 times speed works perfectly, but please don't skip sections. What you miss might be exactly what you need to hear. Let's dive right in. Have you ever noticed how your mood instantly drops when someone around you seems upset? That knot in your stomach when a friend or co-worker looks slightly disappointed? It's like you've been handed an invisible responsibility that you never signed up for. Let's talk about sign number 1 of being a people pleaser. You feel responsible for other people's emotions. Think about yesterday. Did you apologize for something that wasn't actually your fault? Maybe someone bumped into you and you said sorry. Or perhaps a friend was having a bad day and you spent hours trying to cheer them up, feeling like their happiness was somehow your job. This isn't just being nice. It's an exhausting emotional burden that you're carrying around. Imagine walking through life with an emotional weather radar, constantly scanning everyone's faces for storm clouds. Does my boss look annoyed? Is my partner secretly upset? Did I say something wrong at the family dinner? Your mind is constantly racing with these questions. Here's the funny thing, most of us people-pleasers are terrible mind readers. We convince ourselves that we know exactly what others are thinking, and spoiler alert, we're usually wrong. We're basically emotional detectives with absolutely no training or badge. When your friend is quiet, you automatically assume they're mad at you. When your partner sighs, you launch into fix-it mode. But here's the reality. People have thousands of thoughts and feelings every day that have absolutely nothing to do with you. Shocking, I know. This creates an impossible standard. When someone around you is upset, your people-pleaser brain immediately blames you. You've failed your imaginary job of keeping everyone happy all the time. Talk about setting yourself up for constant disappointment. Let's be clear about something. There's a massive difference between being empathetic and being an emotional caretaker. Empathy means understanding someone's feelings. Emotional caretaking means believing it's your responsibility to fix those feelings. This is where healthy emotional boundaries come in. Boundaries aren't walls. They're more like knowing where your emotional yard ends and someone else's begins. You can care deeply without carrying the weight of other people's emotions. Here's a simple but powerful phrase to practice. I can support you, but I can't fix this for you. Try saying it out loud right now. Feels uncomfortable, doesn't it? That discomfort is your first clue that you've been carrying emotional burdens that were never yours to bear. Sign number 1 of being a people-pleaser is feeling responsible for other people's emotions. Once you start to recognize this pattern, you can begin the liberating work of letting others own their feelings while still being supportive in a way that doesn't drain you completely. Now, that feeling in your throat, like you're trying to swallow a golf ball when someone asks you for a favor you don't want to do. Your heart races, your palms get sweaty, and somehow yes comes out of your mouth when your entire body is screaming, no. Sound familiar? Welcome to sign number 2 of being a people pleaser. You struggle to say no without elaborate explanations. Picture this. A co-worker asks if you can stay late to help with their project. Inside, your stomach twists into a pretzel. You already have plans. Important plans involving your couch and that show you've been waiting to watch all week. But instead of a simple, "I can't tonight," you hear yourself saying, "Well, I was going to do this particular thing, but I guess I could move some things around. It's not that important anyway." It's almost like we think no is a four-letter word. Oh wait, it actually is, but not the kind we're thinking of. The physical sensations are real, that tightness in your chest, the flutter of anxiety in your stomach. Your body reacts to saying no as if you're facing a physical threat. This isn't just in your head. Your nervous system is actually firing up its fight or flight response at the mere thought of disappointing someone. Why do we do this? Deep down, it's about the fear of rejection or conflict. Somewhere along the line, we learned that saying no means risking someone's disapproval, and that disapproval feels like an emotional earthquake to a people-pleaser. So instead, we craft these elaborate, Oscar-worthy excuses. We don't just say no. We present a detailed PowerPoint presentation explaining why we can't do the thing, complete with charts, graphs, and possibly interpretive dance. I would love to help, but my cousin's neighbor's dog is having a birthday party, and I already promised to bake the treats. The problem is, constantly saying yes when you want to say no leads to a life of overcommitment and eventual burnout. Your calendar becomes filled with obligations you resent, your energy depletes, and that resentment starts leaking into your relationships. You're not just saying yes to others, you're saying no to yourself over and over again. Here's a life-changing action step. Start practicing small no's in low-risk situations. Maybe it's declining a store clerk's offer for a loyalty card or telling the waiter you don't want the special. These small moments build your no muscle so that when bigger situations arise, you're ready. Remember, a clear, kind no actually earns more respect than a reluctant, resentful yes. People who value you will appreciate your honesty, even if they're momentarily disappointed. If you're nodding along to this, you might want to consider hitting that subscribe button if you haven't done that already. I'm sharing these insights every single day, and trust me, learning to say no was the single most transformative change in my journey away from people-pleasing. Don't miss what's coming next. Let's play a quick game. What's your favorite color? Favorite food? Dream vacation spot? If you hesitated or found yourself thinking, "Well, it depends on who I'm with," you're experiencing sign number 3 of being a people-pleaser. You regularly abandon your own needs and preferences. Many people-pleasers share this strange experience. When asked about their preferences, their mind goes completely blank. It's like having amnesia about your own desires. The reason? You've spent so long adapting to what others want that you've lost touch with what you actually want. This is what psychologists call self-abandonment, and it's more serious than just being indecisive about where to eat dinner. When you consistently put others' needs before your own, you slowly erase your own identity. It's like you're a character in someone else's story rather than the protagonist in your own life. Think about the last time you went to a restaurant with friends. Did you actually order what you wanted, or did you first scan what everyone else was having? Do you find yourself saying, "I'm fine with whatever," so often that it's practically your catchphrase? This pattern extends far beyond small decisions. People-pleasers often defer to others' opinions on everything, from movie choices to major life decisions like career paths or where to live. One day you wake up and realize you've built a life based on other people's preferences, and it feels oddly empty. The most damaging part is how this pattern affects your relationships. Initially, people might appreciate your flexibility, but over time, constantly sacrificing your needs leads to a slow-burning resentment. This resentment eventually erupts in unexpected ways. Passive-aggressive comments, sudden emotional outbursts, or completely withdrawing from relationships. Here's a powerful action step. Create what I call a personal preferences journal. Each day, write down one thing you genuinely enjoy or want without considering anyone else's opinion. Start small. I like showers hot enough to turn my skin lobster red, Or, I actually hate the taste of coffee but drink it to fit in. These small recognitions help you reconnect with your authentic self. Pay attention to physical cues that signal you're ignoring your needs. Tension in your shoulders, a tight jaw, or that sinking feeling in your stomach. Your body often knows when you're betraying yourself, even when your mind has been trained to ignore it. Self-awareness is the foundation for change. You can't honor your needs if you don't know what they are. And here's the beautiful paradox. When you start honoring your own needs and preferences, you become more authentic in your relationships, which actually makes them stronger. By the way, if you're finding value in these insights and want to support this channel and the work we're doing, you can click the thanks button just below this video. Your support helps us continue creating content that genuinely helps people break free from these patterns. Let's continue. When was the last time you did something just for yourself, with no intention of telling anyone about it? No social media post, no casual mention in conversation, just a private accomplishment or pleasure. If you can't remember, you might be experiencing sign number 4 of being a people pleaser. You measure your worth through others' approval. This pattern runs deep. Every decision, achievement, or even personal milestone becomes valuable only when it's validated by someone else. It's like nothing truly happens unless someone else witnesses it and gives it their stamp of approval. For people pleasers, external validation isn't just nice, it's a necessity. It becomes the currency with which you buy your self-worth, creating an addiction-like cycle that's never satisfied. The dopamine hit from receiving approval feels good momentarily, but it fades quickly, leaving you hungry for the next fix. This creates a particular kind of anxiety in social situations. You're not just present in the moment, you're performing, constantly calculating how your words and actions are being received. Even casual conversations become exhausting because you're simultaneously participating and evaluating yourself through others' eyes. The most painful part, this approval-seeking behavior actually pushes people away. Others sense the inauthenticity of interactions that are designed to extract their approval rather than create genuine connection. They feel the weight of your expectations and the subtle pressure to constantly affirm you. There's a profound difference between earning love and being worthy of love. People pleasers operate from the belief that love and acceptance must be earned through constant performance and adaptation. But the truth is that your inherent worth exists independently of what you do or how others perceive you. Here's a transformative action step. Begin identifying your successes without sharing them for validation. Did you handle a difficult situation with grace? Write it down. Did you accomplish something challenging? Acknowledge it privately. Celebrate your wins without needing external confirmation that they matter. This practice helps you build internal validation systems. Start by catching yourself when you immediately reach for your phone to share something positive. Ask yourself, can I enjoy this moment just for me? It feels strange at first, almost like the experience isn't complete. But with practice, you'll find a new richness in experiences that aren't performed for an audience. Self-worth creates the foundation for healthier relationships. When you're not constantly seeking approval, you're free to be authentic. And authenticity is what creates true connection, the kind that nourishes rather than depletes you. This journey from external validation to internal worth is perhaps the most challenging aspect of healing from people-pleasing. It requires you to question your most fundamental beliefs about your value. But it's also the most liberating, because once you discover that your worth comes from within, no one can take it away from you. Now, take a moment and think about the last time someone disagreed with you. How did your body respond? Did your throat tighten? Did your heart start racing? Did your mind go blank, desperately searching for words that would make the tension disappear? If so, you're experiencing sign number 5 of being a people pleaser. You avoid conflict at all costs. For many people pleasers, the mere thought of disagreement triggers a physical response that feels almost dangerous. Your body tenses as if preparing for a physical threat. your breathing becomes shallow. Some people even report feeling slightly nauseous when faced with potential conflict. But here's what's fascinating. This intense fear of conflict actually creates more problems than it solves. When you consistently swallow your true opinions and feelings to maintain surface-level peace, those suppressed emotions don't just disappear. They go underground, where they grow stronger and more volatile. Think about a time when you agreed with someone just to avoid rocking the boat. Maybe you nodded along with a friend's plan that you secretly dreaded, or stayed silent when a family member said something that hurt you. In that moment, it seemed easier to maintain harmony. But what happened afterward? Did you find yourself making excuses to avoid that friend? Did you feel a growing resentment toward that family member? This is how avoiding conflict paradoxically damages relationships. The issues that go unaddressed don't resolve themselves, they fester. The feelings you didn't express find other ways to emerge, often through passive-aggressive behavior, emotional withdrawal, or eventually explosive outbursts that seem to come out of nowhere. What might surprise you is that healthy conflict can actually strengthen relationships. When managed respectfully, disagreement allows for deeper understanding, growth, and authentic connection. It signals that both people feel safe enough to be honest, even when it's uncomfortable. So how do you begin to embrace healthy conflict when the very idea makes you want to run and hide? Start with what I call micro-disagreements. Small, low-stakes moments of expressing a different opinion. Maybe it's saying, "Actually, I'm not a fan of that restaurant," or "I see that differently." Notice how your body responds in these moments. The discomfort you feel is your conflict avoidance system activating. But each time you survive expressing a different view and see that the relationship remains intact, that system gets recalibrated. It's helpful to understand the difference between aggression, passivity, and assertiveness. Aggression attacks others' boundaries. Passivity surrenders your own. Assertiveness respects both. Phrases like, "I understand your perspective and here's mine," or "I have a different take on this," allow you to express yourself without attacking others. Your fear of conflict likely developed for good reasons. Perhaps as a child, you learned that disagreement led to emotional chaos or rejection. Your conflict avoidance was a survival strategy that served you once, but now it's limiting your ability to have authentic relationships and honor your own needs. What conflicts have you been avoiding? What conversations have you been putting off? What truths have you been silencing to keep the peace? The relationships that can't survive honest communication were never truly secure to begin with. We've covered a lot of ground together, from feeling responsible for others' emotions to struggling with saying no, abandoning your own needs, seeking external validation, and avoiding conflict. These 5 signs of people-pleasing don't just hurt you, they prevent you from showing up authentically in the world. Remember, this transformation doesn't happen overnight. You didn't develop these patterns in a day, and you won't shed them immediately either. Be gentle with yourself through this process. Self-compassion isn't optional, it's essential for lasting change. Many people-pleasers develop these behaviors as survival mechanisms. Perhaps as a child, keeping everyone happy kept you safe. Maybe reading others' emotions protected you from unpredictable situations. These patterns served you once, and acknowledging that is part of letting them go. As you begin to establish new boundaries, some relationships might feel temporarily uncomfortable. This doesn't mean you're doing something wrong, it means the dynamic is adjusting. Some relationships will grow stronger through this honesty. Others might not survive your authenticity, and that's valuable information too. Each morning, try setting one simple intention. Today, I will honor my needs in at least one situation. This small daily practice builds into profound change over time. Remember this. Prioritizing yourself isn't selfish. It's necessary for authentic connections. You cannot give genuinely from an empty well. The world needs your authentic self, not your exhausted, resentful, people-pleasing shell. Imagine continuing your old patterns for another 5 years, another 10, How would that feel? Now, imagine the freedom of authentic living, saying yes when you mean yes, no when you mean no, and showing up as your true self. Which future calls to you more strongly? Start with just one small change today. The YouTube algorithm knows what serves you best. Click on the suggested video appearing on your screen right now to continue this journey. Your authentic life is waiting, and it's too precious to postpone any longer.